All right, I am recording the meeting
Okay.
for open meeting law. And I'm going to share the agenda. So Ron Mallory recommended reading the disclaimer at the top of the agenda
Okay. I will
about
do
the
that.
increasing concern.
No, so due to the increasing concern surrounding the coronavirus pandemic, this meeting will be open to the public through the Zoom conferencing platform. Instructions to participate are below. A recording of the meeting will be aired on Comcast Local TV 9 and posted on the Town of Dighton YouTube channel. This is Ron O'Connor, Chair of the Dighton Public Library Trustees. And since this is being recorded, I think it would be appropriate for people to introduce themselves. Jocelyn?
I'm Jocelyn Tavares, the director of the library.
Eve Cabral, trustee.
Allison Sembalisti, trustee.
Lisa Mello, employer at Dighton Public Library. Employee, sorry.
Phyllis Haskell, employee at the library and a member of the Friends group.
And Zach Lapointe, chairperson of the Friends of the Library.
Okay. Welcome to our meeting. We will begin with new business, which is a discussion of library updates related to the COVID-19 pandemic. I'll turn that over to Jocelyn.
Since we have been, since this has all started, we had about a week where the library was closed to the public, but we were inside the building where we did a lot of cleaning and things that we never get around to, sort of things. Lori was able to organize her back room, which we haven't had a chance to do since the storage container got pulled away. We had already ordered some new shelving for the DVDs because the current ones are on their way out. They're getting compromised, and I don't know how long they're going to last. So those came in, they were started to be assembled. And then we got the notification about the state of emergency and the non-essential business at home, the advisory to stay at home. So some of that has been put on hold. Since then, we've all been participating in a lot of training, things that we don't normally get to do. And we've been updating the disaster plan, which hasn't been updated since 2013. We've been trying to increase our communications with the public because we're not providing any services other than digital services. Staff have been reaching out to patrons on the telephone. For those patrons who are either our regular patrons or may not have internet service, we have been trying to provide information on the pandemic that is reliable, or trying to provide activities or promote our own electronic resources. Lori has started doing recording her own story times. So we've been trying to push as much of the digital content that we can, information content. I've started to look towards some of the economic needs of the community and trying to compile good resources. So those are some of the day-to-day things that we've been doing to try to keep in touch with our patrons and community as best we can.
Yeah, on that note, Jocelyn, I just kudos to you. I think that the web page for the library is a really good source for people, and I found it to be easy to use. So I think whatever you did there, I think it looks good.
Oh,
I'm sorry
thank
to
you.
interrupt. Yeah.
That was going to be my next point, was that when we first closed, I wanted to put in a stopgap until we were able to proceed with our website project, to make it easy while people are at home to find information. I found a template that was more mobile friendly, removed some of the content or the pictures that get in the way, maybe bog it down, and then updated some of the, like the children's pages and the teen pages. And, you know, I've tried to just keep I've been doing more email newsletters and just to, you know, kind of keep things going. If the website works, you know, maybe we can ride it out a little bit longer before hiring a website developer. With the economy the way it's going,
Mhm.
you know, maybe it's in our best interest to do that. So,
Good point.
but those are the, you know, we've just been trying to do a lot of different things. A lot of training, which has been really good. We've also been studying what a phased opening would look like, what any opening would look like. Materials handling. Are we going to, I mean, I don't know what programming is going to look like. It's probably all going to be digital for some time. What are we going to need to handle our returned items? What are we going to need to, or are we going to need to be offering curbside service to start? I mean, I expect things will be happening in phases. So we've all been studying, going to webinars on that, and you know, we'll you know, as we learn more about how the virus lives on surfaces and paper, particularly, you know, we'll be able to make better judgment on what happens going forward. I expect that we'll have a quarantine of our materials. I don't know how that's gonna happen or where, but I expect that'll be a thing for a while. The Institute of Library and Museum Services, the federal level, is working with a group to really research that, because we don't know what we don't know. That's that. I want to just note the finance committee is meeting on Thursday, May 7th at 6. And our time slot is for the library budget. I have instructions there if you're interested in joining us. I haven't been contacted about any changes to our budget yet. We went to a brief state aid update meeting where there's a lot of unknowns about state aid, but because almost every library in the state closed early, they've made adjustments to certain requirements for the state. So we're not going to be penalized for, I mean, we're effectively closed to the public. So materials requirement, the spending requirement. Right now, we aren't really spending. There's a spending freeze in town. We're not going to be penalized for that. We're only spending money on the things that we are really contractually obligated to be spending it on. Selectman Pacheco and I met with, we went to a Zoom meeting on the construction wait list. And again, there's a lot of unknowns on that. There's a lot of uncertainty with the economic situation in the state. And, and of course, we haven't made a decision on how we're going to handle our place. We haven't made a formal decision. We know our preference. We haven't made a formal decision on how we're going to handle our spot on the wait list. It's possibly good that we're so far down, but they don't expect projects to proceed. I don't know if there's anything you want to add, Ken?
Yeah, just that I think, as you noted, some towns are going to drop out. I think, was it East Bridgewater's next on the list, and they indicated that they won't be able to take advantage of the construction
Yeah.
money. So I think we're going to move up the list pretty quick, and then we're going to have a big decision to make at that time. But I think we're still number 14. Is that probably?
I think so. Yeah.
So it may not get to us. However, the state looks like they're going to lose a lot of revenue, $4 to $5 billion, I guess, in the next year. So things are going to be a little tough for all groups and agencies. So we have to consider what we're going to do as far as.
Now that.
But the money is there, right?
Yes, I learned a lot more about how everything works. I understand it better. They explained that we have the $150 million bond bill that's approved by the legislature, but then they kind of explained that the cap is approved by administration and finance. And that's more like an allowance that we get each year that the MBLC is able to meter out each year. So they're hoping to be able to raise the cap for spending each year, and they don't have any information on that going forward. So the money is there for all intents and purposes. It's just a matter of when it's going to get to anybody on the list. And for the people who are the library construction is halted right now. It's not considered an essential building project, whereas any programs in the DCAM side are more likely to be considered essential if they're still going on, and their unions are not pulling back. So there's just so many unknowns with it right now. But I touched on reopening, so there's a lot of unknowns there, and ultimately we'll be working with the Board of Health on if they're comfortable with whatever plans we have in place.
Jocelyn, did you get some guidance from MBLC?
They're working on that now, and Mass Library System.
So, but was there a letter that went out? That I understood from within my public health circles that libraries received something yesterday, a letter?
We did get some, we got a lot of things from them.
Yeah. Okay.
We've been getting lots of information. So we have, we'll be working with them to.
Good. Okay. I just didn't know if there's going to be communication going out to trustees from.
That
I
I'm
haven't
not
seen
sure of. I can send you what went out.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
That's great. Yeah.
And we only have a few more minutes because I have the free account. It's just planning on, there's interest in the strategic planning committee to try to organize some Zoom meetings. I'm pretty sure most of you here, committee, they mentioned shorter meetings, working on each objective that came out of our first larger meeting. Is that something everyone's interested in?
Sure. Yes. Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I can do it too.
All right.
So,
What,
so Jocelyn, do we need to have a paid Zoom account, or will our consultants take care of that?
I can see if it's available. I can use Mallory's, the town's Mallory's account.
Okay. 'Cause I
She runs
just didn't-
it.
All right. I just didn't know if we needed to take a vote to purchase a paid account for the library, but it sounds like we don't need to.
If so, then, I mean, I suppose that's possible as well. If you run into too many scheduling conflicts.
Okay.
And I just want to throw the floor to Zach, who is here on behalf of the Friends, because I know there's a meeting coming up. So if Zach would like to say something, then.
Sure, I'll be quick. I promise. We have a meeting coming up 2 weeks from today on May 14th. It's going to be through Zoom, like this meeting is. If anybody's interested in joining us, let me know and I can send you the information. Last meeting, we did find out some good news about our Edaville passes. Our Edaville passes are actually now offered free to the library. The Friends Group no longer has to pay for them, which I think is a phenomenal thing. And then the other two things I had were I'm looking to how to best do a candidates night for the upcoming town election. I'm just waiting on further guidance on how I can best do that. And we're going to talk about it at our meeting. And we're also going to be looking at alternative fundraisers for this year instead of doing the Taste of Dighton, because it's not looking like we're going to be able to do that. But otherwise, we haven't done any much else other than that. I am attending a webinar next Thursday that Jocelyn had sent me. It's how Friends groups can best support the libraries during this time. So I'm hoping I can get some good information out of that. Other than that, that's all I have.
Thank you, Zach.
You're welcome.
Are there any comments or anything we can be doing for you?
We're
you
doing the
talk-
best we can do.
Yeah, I think you guys are doing great under the circumstances.
Yeah,
We are.
is there anything as trustees we can be doing to help the library as far as, I know you're going to be doing some research on going forward with how you're going to handle things, opening wise and stuff. Or is that going to be dictated by the town, or is that something that you need input on, or is there anything we can do to help you with that?
I expect that I would share what recommended to us, and then if the Board of Health is comfortable with those